It is challenging when I logged on this morning and it was like, oh, you have an update from Zoom. And I just thought, oh, there's not enough yoga in the world to help me get through tech sometimes. Uh, oh my goodness, absolutely. Okay, so we're going to do a somatic yoga practice today, somatic movement practice. And this is a favorite, I know, with so many people. Here's the deal: if somatic movement is fairly new to you, somatic movement is designed to focus the mind as we do repetitive motions. The repetitive motions should help us should help teach us kind of how we use our muscle groups properly or more effectively. It also brings a lot of awareness to our physical state, our emotional state, our spiritual state. It just allows the world to go away as we focus on these little things. Pay attention to chatter, which is the term we use in somatic movement. And chatter is when you're doing kind of what should be a fluid movement and you feel a little jittery. It's different than when your muscles are kind of shaking from exhaustion, but you just might find, say, maybe the left side is fluid and the right side you're a little bit clunkier. In my in my physical self, I have more clunk than chatter, but I welcome it all. So if you're finding a lot of the chatter on one side or one range of motion, consider going back to that in the future. When we're doing somatic movement, feel free to take breaks, feel free to skip things. We're doing a lot with the lower back today and kind of hips on that kind of trajectory that we've been on for a few weeks. So if you've got some discomfort and need to take that break, just feel really comfortable knowing that you are the expert in your own experience. And if you don't want to do some of this, that's totally okay. So let's start actually sitting up nice and tall. I will move back. And I'm like, where did I put my notes? Okay, we're going to sit up nice and tall, and then I'm going to I can find my notes for the class. Letting it all go. So just settle into your mat and settle into your space. You can soften the body a little bit here. You can close your eyes. And ask yourself this question: how do you come to your practice this morning? And whatever that answer is, maybe it's a short answer, maybe it's a long answer, but embrace that response. Remove all judgment and welcome that. Good. You can open your eyes, and as we stay seated in this posture, we're going to cross the arms and just have your hands kind of resting, just kind of on my fingertips are kind of on the clavicle, but you can kind of be wherever, depending on how much luggage you have up top. How many blessings? So we are just going to go through a little bit of a butterfly hug, and this is a combination of somatic movement. And this is a wonderful technique if you experience anxiety or anything else that you find overwhelming. So take a breath in and bring one hand up. Exhale, it comes back down. And the other hand, inhale. Exhale. Back to the first side. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, other side. Exhale. Keep going with this slowly. Now we speed it up with a single breath in and out. Or basically one hand tap for each breath cycle. As you're doing this, try and apply some pressure through the fingertips. And then release. Good. Come onto your back, and we're going to move into constructive rest as a position. So constructive rest is a pretty unique physical posture that sends a message to your brain saying, relax, let go. It actually lets the psoas release. So my feet are a little bit further than hip width apart. And I'm just going to let my knees rest against each other. And then if you need to go wider with the feet, just listen to what your body is saying. Let your arms rest wherever they want to rest. And now breathe. As you're here in constructive rest, we're going to start to kind of slide the knees against each other, almost like you're rubbing them. So take a moment and kind of, this is so hard to explain. I'm going to move my right knee kind of further than my left and then reversing it. So imagine, I guess I can demonstrate it better with my hands. We're just kind of doing this motion slowly. So try that. I'm not really letting my hips lift too far up. This is all being kind of controlled by some deep core muscles. And find the speed or pace that feels comfortable. But make sure the knees keep, kind of knees and thighs keep rubbing. As you keep going with this, notice, do you have a dominant side? Like is one leg rubbing and the other is kind of receiving the rub? And if that's the case, notice and shift. And then relax. Good. From here, bring the knees apart, keeping your feet where they are. Make sure your shoulders are rolled back, and I'm actually lifting mine up closer to the ears to create some space. From here, we're going to start to lower the legs towards one side, go only as far as you're comfortable with. Feel the pull. And then keeping that core tight as you lift back up, we go right over to the other side. Same thing, moving slowly and noticing. Let's come back to center as you move to that first side. Your head turns away from the direction of your knees. And then keep going at a pace back and forth that you're comfortable with, keeping the breath deep. If your breath becomes shallow, that's a sign that maybe you need to take a rest. And if you want to take a rest, come back into constructive rest, or maybe that rubbing back and forth of your knees. As you continue with this, notice what your feet are doing. Mine were tensing up, so I'm going to let them relax. Now change the pace. If you were going really slowly, add a little bit of quickness to this. And if you were going quickly, slow it down. And come to center, feet come further apart, knees connect, cross the arms over the chest, and just snuggle in, take some breaths. Good. Bring your heels closer to the bum and knees are now hip width apart. Stretch the arms up over top of your head. Let's work through a little bit of making circles. Switch directions. And now just hold the hands, maybe creating a mudra, locking the fingers, and bend your elbows. Keep the breath really deep. And from here, start to bring this arm hoop that you've created, bring it down to one side. See if you can kind of go as far as you can, and then turn your head to the opposite side. Now, my opposite shoulder is lifting, that's okay. And then I'm going to come back to center and move to the other side. Try and keep that hoop, don't just kind of yank stuff back and forth. And very slowly, same thing, moving from side to side. Work with your breath. And just interpret what that needs to mean for you. See if you can get that opposite shoulder lifting a little bit more now. So welcome a little bit more space. And then notice what's happening in your core. Ensure there's a little bit of engagement here. And then do one more on each side, but increase your range of motion while slowing this down. And then back to center. Release your arms and release your legs. So in this posture, like we take for Shavasana, do a quick scan of your body and notice specifically what's happening in the back. So especially the low back area. And maybe this posture is not accessible for you today, but take some deep breaths. If you need to shift to adjust, that's okay. I'm noticing I have a big curve in my lumbar spine. So this is definitely because I have extra stress in this area. My hamstrings are a bit tight. So I'm going to breathe and see if I can release this just freely from my brain, sending some requests. I'm going to create a ticket here, an action item. And for me, what I want to do now through every deep breath, I want to see if I can start to relax some of the muscles. So for me, it's through the glutes, relaxing through the core, maybe relaxing through my feet. Good. From here, pull one knee into the tummy. Just pull it back. Take some breaths. Shoulders roll. And then releasing the leg back out and down. Pulling the other leg. Shoulders roll back again. Release that leg. Pull the arms up over top of the head. Have a stretch here, arching up through the back. And exhale.
Good. Bring your feet back up to the bum. Roll your shoulders once again. And let's start to warm up the pelvic area, the pelvic floor. And then we're going to get a little bit further into the psoas. So we're going to come back to that very fundamental motion that we always do during somatic movement, which is the pelvic roll. So we roll the pelvis forward, creating even more space. And then as we exhale, we push down. So then we're rounding, we're kind of tucking up. Core is really engaged, pushing into the floor. So our inhale again, we reverse this, we roll forward. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Pause here for a moment and notice your feet. Your feet have a role to play in this. So you want to make sure your toes are spread, arches are lifted, and all parts are really tapped into your mat. I'm actually really kind of engaging my feet so that energy is being brought up the legs to kind of help with this range of motion. My feet become my anchors. The same thing with my shoulders. I'm really grounding myself right across the shoulder blades. So the movement that's happening is kind of from the ribs down to almost the pubic bone. That's kind of where we're seeing all this motion. Everything else is still. So let's go through this. Gonna inhale, rolling forward, really deep breath. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Breathing in and out. Inhale and exhale. Keep going with this at your own pace. See if you can create even more space and even more strength when you're pushing into the floor. And then rest. Good. So we're going to add a piece to this now. And as I breathe in, I'm going to roll the pelvis forward. But as I exhale and push down, one of my knees is going to come up. And as my knee is pulling back, and I'm going to do it without the arms, but as my knee is pulling back and I'm pushing down into the floor, this other leg and foot are working too. So it's pulling towards and pushing away. And all of that strength is coming from your kind of deep core muscles. So let's do this together. We'll do one leg and then the other leg, and then we'll alternate. So kind of doing the left, right. So inhale, pelvic roll. Exhale. I'm starting with my left. You can do whatever you like. Inhale. The foot comes down. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And breathing out. Inhale. and exhale. Let the foot settle down on the inhale. And then exhale, switch to the other side. Breathing in and out. Breathing in, rolling forward and out. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, switch to the first side. Exhale. Inhale, switch sides. Exhale. Inhale, switch sides. Exhale. Inhale and exhale. Other side. Inhale, switch sides. Exhale. Inhale, really roll forward. Exhale, switch sides. On this inhale, roll forward as much as you can, create space, stretch. And as you exhale and push down, pull both knees in. And as you continue to pull your knees in, really tuck under through the tail, stretch out that low back. And then gently doing little circles as you move your knees. Good. To act as a reset, push your legs up into the air, lengthening, stretch out your toes, flex your feet, and let your arms come back. Maybe a cactus pose, maybe a diamond. But breathe deeply. Keep pushing up through the heels. You want to keep doing this till your legs do start to shake a little bit. You just want to really get deeply into those muscle fibers. Good. And then slowly let the legs come back down to the tummy. And your arms can release and relax for a moment. Now we're going to add a little bit of a drop to the side, almost a modified spinal twist. And I want to let you know that if your low back is feeling like it needs to take a break, then you can either stay in this posture with the knees pulled in, or you can roll over and enter into child's pose. Otherwise, I welcome you to think about bringing your feet back to the mat. And you want to kind of come into a cross-leg position, almost like you would for eagle, without wrapping the ankles. So without doing that kind of double bind. And from here, I'm going to start to lower to the side with the leg on top. And my head's going to move in the opposite direction. So maybe just start with the leg first. Maybe move your foot that's on the mat further down. Just start to come over. And if your head's comfortable turning, it can. Now here's more of the challenge. Tight through the core as you come back to center. Now, if that is not working for your back, that's okay. You can just do a regular spinal twist, or you can modify this in some other way. Or once you're down, you could untangle and push back up, whatever works for you. We're going to do 3 of these on each side. So I'm coming back into my crossed leg position. I'm going to take a breath in. Exhale, starting to come down as my head moves away. Tight through the core, inhale up. Exhale back to that side. Tight core, inhale up. Exhale down, head to the side. Inhale up. Release the leg, switch legs. So try it once first to see how the range of motion is now that we've switched sides. So we're lowering the leg down, head turns away. Make any modifications you need. And please remember that tight core to come back up to center. Pardon me. Let's take a deep breath in. Exhale, lowering. Tight core, inhale up. Exhale to the side. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Untangle the legs. Move back into constructive rest and cross your arms over the chest. Close your eyes. Breathe deeply and just notice, observe. So relax your arms. And let's move on to our side for another kind of round of somatic movements. So as you roll onto one side, you're going to bend your knees, and there's a little bit of, this never feels right, but it is. There's a little bit of positioning that we need to do here. So we want to bring the knees up. We're kind of looking for a 90-degree angle here. But then I need you to bring your feet forward until you can see your toes. This is really the position that you want. And then we're going to drop our head down, which is super awkward. And rest your arm. Take some deep breaths. And then bring this top arm over your head. Reach over your head and grab that ear. And what we're going to do now is as we breathe in, you're going to actually start to help that head rise up. Use your core here. And then exhale gently down. Good. Let's keep going. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. The higher you go, you'll feel more of a contraction through the muscles. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Good. You can relax the arm now. Let it rest on the hip. Keeping your knees together. I'm now going to invite you to inhale and raise that top leg. This is what I always consider the Elaine dance, if you remember Elaine from Seinfeld. And then very slowly lowering that foot. So let's try that again. This is a tough range of motion for the brain to really get on board with. So knees are touching. One foot is lifting. You'll feel kind of all the sensation up through the hip and then start to slowly lower. Good. Let's do another one here. Breathing in, go as high as you can. Super chatter for me on this one. And exhale, lowering. How about two more? Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, knees are together. And exhale. Good. Let's add the head. Slide your hand over. Knees stay together, just that top foot lifts and your head. Inhale. And exhale. Take your time. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Let's do one more here. Go as high as you can. And slowly releasing. Relax the arm. Keeping both knees together. Both feet come up. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Try and keep your ankles together. I say to remind myself. Inhale. And exhale. Let's do one more. Inhale. And exhale. Let's add the head. Same deal. Knees are together. Both feet come up. Inhale. And down. Inhale. And down. Inhale. Exhale. Let's do one more. Breathing in as high as you can go. And down. Relax. You can either just roll onto the other side or flip around, which is what I'm going to do. So we start by setting up 90 degrees with knees, hips, all of that. And then bring those toes forward till you see them. And then settle down. This just always feels like not
not how my body is supposed to be positioned. Ah. And then let's bring the arm over, grab your ear, just lifting the head here. So let's come up on the in breath and out. Breathing in and out. Inhale. Exhale. Let's lift even higher. Inhale and exhale. Good. Can release and relax. Knees are together, just that top foot. So breathe in and out. Inhale and down. Make sure those knees are connected. Inhale and exhale. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. Let's add the head. Knees are together. Inhale, lift. And exhale. Really notice the muscles working to provide this range of motion. Let's breathe up. It's pretty cool. Doesn't look cool, but it is. And exhale. Slowly breathing in, lifting, go further with that foot and releasing. Let's do one more here, please. Knees are together. One foot lifts, head lifts, go higher, higher, higher. And down. Releasing the top arm. And breathe. Let's continue. Knees stay together, ankles stay together. Both feet lift on the in breath and out. Breathing up and down. Inhale. Exhale. Let's do one more. Really push up, go as high as you can. And down. Good. Let's add the head. Knees are together. Ankles stay pressed together. Inhale, lift. And down. Inhale. Take your time. Keep breathing. Keep lifting, pushing. Exhale. Let's go again. Ankles stay together. Feet stay together. Knees stay together. And down. Finally, once more, all the way up. And down. Release and relax. I can't ever do this little sequence without thinking back to in-person classes where the knees together, one foot lift. I can remember specifically Wilson Park comes to mind, where I'd be walking around the room, talking people through this and repeatedly saying, knees together, knees together. And I would always see this happening. And it's just the brain does not get this. And eventually I felt like such a jerk, but it just, you think you're doing it, you think you're keeping the knees together, but really this is happening. It's so cool and funny, and a really nice memory that I have of teaching this, because teaching somatic movement is really challenging, especially when I'm doing it at the same time, because I'm not so coordinated. Let's come on to the back. I'm mindful of time, but I think we have time for one more before a little bit of stretching in our Shavasana. So for this, I want you to stretch out your leg and stretch out your arm. I might have to be on a bit of an angle here.
So you have one leg bent. Use the arm on the bent leg side to kind of anchor you, because you're basically going to do a big, wide, sweeping motion here. So start by bringing the extended hand and foot closer together. Go as far as you can. That'll be your out breath. We'll say that's the out breath. And as you inhale, reverse that and bring that hand and that foot as far away as you can. That makes sense. So I'm actually kind of bringing my foot across the midline. My arm is coming up, hand comes across the midline. So we're creating this huge arc on one side of the body. So maybe staying here, take a breath in here. This might make more sense. And then exhale, hand and foot start to move together. Inhale, reversing. Exhale. Apologies to anyone on carpet. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And then pulling everything up. Let's switch to the other side. Let's start with the hand and foot fairly close. And then on the breath, start to move the arm and the foot up and away. And then reversing. Go at your own speed. Work with the breath. I'm going to do 2 more. And then when you're done, coming back to your mat, roll your shoulders back. And breathe. So notice how you feel now. Maybe you feel a little jittery. Sometimes that's how I feel at the end of a somatic practice. I feel almost like a tremendous amount of almost anxious energy has been released, but it's still in my body. So if that's how you're feeling, that's okay. It's not unusual. Let's bring the legs up into the air. Flex your feet. Bring the arms up into the air. And reach, reach, reach. And while we're doing this, take a moment and reach one arm higher up. And then put your shoulder down. Other arm reaches up. Shoulder sinks down. One arm up. Shoulder down. Other arm up. Shoulder down. Really sink the shoulder. One arm comes up. Keep the core tight. Shoulder down. Other arm up. Shoulder down. Both arms reach up. Flex the feet. Flex the legs. Tighten through the core. And then let your shoulders sink in and let the legs be soft. Hands are soft. Dead bug. Close your eyes here in dead bug. We're going to hold this for a period of time and just explore it. This is such a wild posture where I feel like my body is heavy and relaxed, and I don't understand why I'm not just melting into a puddle. Keep the breath deep. And then slowly start to let everything come down to the mat. And you can either rest in a full shavasana on your back, or come back to constructive rest. And either one of those options, if you're feeling like you have that energy and you're not able to settle, come back to the butterfly hug. And use whatever you need to sink into a state of peace and relaxation. Deepen your breath and start to rub your hands together to warm them. Place them over your face, covering your eyes. And feel your fingertips pressing into your forehead. Let your thumbs massage around your temples, the jawbone. And keep the breath deep. Wipe away anything from your face that you no longer need and just release it. Pull the arms up over top of your head, stretch out your legs.
And then pull the knees into your tummy and give yourself a hug. And when you're ready, move to a seated posture. And once you're seated, breathing deeply, think about kind of that heaviness that often happens after a practice like this, that kind of, oh, that dozy feeling when you wake up for a nap or wake up from a nap and you're like, oh, what day is it? But keep breathing because this will pass. Energy will follow along with clarity and usually a little bit more fluidity in our movement to support whatever tasks you take on. Notice if how you are sitting has shifted. I hope it's more comfortable. Let's bring our hands together in front of the heart. Just allow love to be pulled from your heart and kind of sent up through your fingertips. And if you need a little bit of that love, just tilt your head forward and let it land in the third eye. I'm so thankful that people were able to share this practice this morning with me. It really was exactly what I needed. So thank you for joining me. And I look forward to seeing folks next week. I hope everybody has a week full of joy and beautiful experiences. And if that's not the case, I hope that you have all the strength and the wisdom to deal with whatever life throws at you and that you're able to catch it with both hands. Namaste.